Should kids do chores? Most American parents would say yes, they should, but they don't actually have their kids do it. Hi, welcome to Misfit Grit. My family has chores to do. This is a working farm, and we have things that we need to do every single day to make sure that we eat and the household continues on. We have 5 children, and I was asked, how does my family handle chores and pocket money? So today I'm going to explain that. I'm a radical homemaker. That means that my job is to make sure that the household runs smoothly. And part of that is making sure that everyone pitches in. I'm not a servant. So my children begin their chores at about the age of 3. And they are responsible for quite a bit around here, and that's how we get it all done. And my children are extremely competent. It's commented on frequently. We homeschool. We have 5 of them, ranging in the ages of 1.5 to 9 years old. So every 2 years, I've had a baby. And we're going to talk about what those chores look like and why I believe it's so important that kids have them. So I'll explain. Starting at the age of 3, we start asking a child to clear their dishes from the table, as well as emptying the silverware, the clean silverware, into the drawer after the dishwasher has run. And they are expected to participate in this. They don't always do it willingly, but it's part of what's expected. Then at the age of 5, you can see there's a list here. And my daughter, it is her job to make her bed, put her pajamas away. She's responsible for loading the dishwasher after every meal once the dishes are rinsed. And she's also supposed to empty the compost outside, the bowl that goes out there every day, and tidy up the back room with all the shoes, because with kids, the shoes get a little crazy. So that's her job, and she is responsible for it. Every child is expected to put away their clean laundry every day, as well as clean up their room. And we take Friday cleaning in this house very seriously. It has its own list of what is expected to be done. We don't always get everything done on it. Let's be real, folks. Time only goes so far in a day. But this is what we try to hit every week. And as the children get bigger, we can get a little bit more done. So then over here, my 7-year-old, same thing, make the bed, put the pajamas away, clean up after yourself in the morning, right? Everyone is expected to get up in the morning, get dressed, get washed up, get your animal chores done in the morning before you sit down at the breakfast table. We always take care of those who are dependent on us before we, sit down and enjoy a meal. Everyone who is dependent needs to be cared for first, whether they're younger or an animal. That's a hard, fast rule. So my son is responsible for sweeping the floor after breakfast and lunch. I do it in the evenings. He has to feed the sourdough starter on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Starts the laundry. Most days, I handle my own laundry, but they handle theirs. They handle the household laundry most days. They wipe down the bathroom, and my sons do this together, and then they wipe down the sink and the shower. I handle the toilet and the floor. Every day we wipe down the bathroom. There's 7 people in one bathroom, so every single day, you bet, I'm wiping that down. And he's responsible for tidying up the living room. They also have, like I mentioned, animal chores in the morning, making sure both of my sons have 2 little chicken tractors, and they have to make sure there's feed and water in both of those. Everybody's safe, ready to go for the day, and they do that in the morning. And also at 4 o'clock, we have 4 o'clock chores, which is primarily those birds, put away your laundry, and then you're going to tidy up your room if you expect to watch TV. Because in this household, TV is not just something that's on all the time and everybody just gets to lollygag around. TV is a privilege, and especially if you want to watch something that's not educational, your room better be cleaned up so that I can walk up there and not break my neck. So the kids are also responsible for setting the table for the next meal. In the evenings, we prep for the next morning's breakfast, and they are responsible for helping set the table. They each have a portion of that responsibility, whether it's putting out placemats and napkins or cutlery or the bowls. So my 9-year-old, he is checking to see, do we need bread for the day? So he needs to check in with me and ask me, do we need bread? And I will let him know what's on the menu for that day. And he helps either start bread, we do a refrigerator bread, or he might help roll it out into loaves and get it rising for the day. And that's something he and I do together. And he rinses the dishes after every meal. And then we help the adults, but he's learning that skill, as well as refresh the cat, food and water in the back room, and to help other kids. So I thought I would be able to make this video without little Penny jumping out of her box, but this little chick is so desperate that she's all alone. She's the only one that hatched from her clutch, and she is following us around asking, "Are you my mother?" if anyone's familiar with that story. So she hopped out here while I was filming, and she's just gonna hang out until I'm done. And so you hear her cheeping. All right, so as I was mentioning, everyone is expected to help those who are still doing their chores when they're done. So just because my chores are done doesn't mean that I don't then help another person to say, "I'm done. You're on your own." Oh, no. We pitch in, because some days, some person's chore load is heavier than the other, right? On canning days, there's a ton of dishes, and we have to do a lot of work. So things can be fluid, and I am the manager. I am the homemaker. I dictate what happens. What I say needs to happen, and there are consequences if it doesn't. Kids might go to the corner. They might get hollered at. This is a little bit of an old school farm, and we run things so that everyone can eat. And we believe that that's important, because taking care of household chores is not always fun, but it needs to be done. And I would argue that it is parents who are abdicating that responsibility, because it's a little too hard to stick by it, right? To have that responsibility on themselves of saying, nope, I need to teach my kids how to maintain a household, how to learn to cook, how to budget things, all of those domestic skills that folks used to be able to do a little bit more, really lacking in 2025. I believe that it's imperative that I teach my children how to do this, so that they can survive in the world. So taking the time out to teach children to do the chores instead of just me doing them myself, that takes time, right? It can be really frustrating too. I need to make sure that older children are teaching the younger children how to complete these chores, and also that they're working together to get them done correctly. I am the manager of this household, and I check and make sure everything is done correctly every single day. When we don't learn to work together in a family, which, let's face it, most families in the United States the home is just a bedroom, or it's where they store their toys, and nobody really does much in the home. The household is kind of like home base for how do I consume. They don't work together well. Everyone goes off to a different room or a different building throughout the day, and then when they return home, maybe they don't even eat the same foods or at the same time, and they don't spend time together in the evenings. Everyone has their own screen to look at. There's data that backs this up. This is how Americans largely live, and the families. And when I interact with American families, I can tell. My family does not operate that way. We like to say that we are a cohesive unit. Oh dear. And this is a lifestyle that we believe raises our children in being grounded in the facts of life, right? This is what we have to do. Things are difficult sometimes, and working together makes it much more pleasant. And then you know that you get to eat tomorrow. You know what's coming. It's routine. And children actually thrive in routine. It's the chaos of going all the time that makes them extraordinarily anxious. My kids don't have those anxiety issues. They don't have, depression issues, sleep issues. My kids sleep really well at night because they work hard during the day. So this may sound like a lot of chores for a family to handle, and you could argue that it is. We homeschool, so that means that my children are here most of the time, and things get very messy. That also means that I can't outsource that labor. We have to learn to clean up after ourselves. It's not like a school where there's a janitorial system or a cafeteria group. This is all done in-house, and my children don't really want to go to public school at this point. They enjoy being able to have their freedom here and pursue the things that they're interested in. And so the trade-off is that they have to help keep this place clean enough and running smoothly. And as they get older, they do understand that, and they take a lot of pride in their work. They learn skills that are very important. My kids really help with cooking and a lot of the cleaning. You know, they don't really enjoy the cleaning as much, but they take pride in their work and they know what's expected of them. And I'm very proud of them. And I'm very optimistic about their future because I see their work ethic. I see that their values are developing into understanding that pitching in for everyone, helping their family and their community is so important. I really do believe that this is a good way to raise children in having them do chores. Even if it's frustrating, even if it takes up a lot of my time, I see that it pays off in the long run. And I think that long-term commitment is what most Americans are lacking. Americans want things right now. If it's tough, they aren't doing it. Especially the higher, more income that you get, like they don't do hard at all. So teaching their children to do chores, they're like, why would I do that when I could just pay someone to do that? That's not an option in our household. And I don't anticipate it'll be an option in my children's households either. So we have to learn to do those things, take care of ourselves. And in this society, that's a radical act, right? I'm not, teaching my children that one day they're going to be millionaires or billionaires, and so they don't have to learn these skills. Or like when I was a kid, we could just marry a rich man and he would take care of everything. They have to be grounded in reality. And if you want to have a comfortable life, learning to be comfortable with being uncomfortable while your hands are washing dishes, hey man, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You can do it. So go ahead and take a peek at what it looks like having my kids do some of their chores. And then I'll also show you how I handle allowance, because they do receive allowance and they are able to use it however they see fit within reason.
Our kids start receiving allowance at the age of 3. So this is for my 3-year-old daughter. She will receive $3 this week. And we don't take away allowance for anything. We don't do that kind of stuff. You get your allowance. You help out and you do what is expected of you, and you get your allowance. So our 5-year-old, she'll get $5, and we're going to make the change here, and we'll talk about this all together. It's part of the lesson. And this is for our 7-year-old. Same thing, $7 there. And this is for our 9-year-old, and we'll make change for that as well. And so they get a little math lesson. They get to see how much money. It adds up quick, actually, when they don't spend a lot. And then when the wallets get too full, we take the excess to the bank, and they do have bank accounts where they store their extra money. Friday cleaning. This is the day we try to dedicate to cleaning the house a little bit more thoroughly than we do on the other days. So on Fridays, we have our list right here. We wipe down the washer and dryer, any appliances. We switch out all the towels and the rugs. All that stuff gets washed. The drying mat. We wash the windows that are messy from all the little kid handprints. We try to do 10 minutes of wall washing if the weather's crummy outside. If the weather's nice outside, then we go outside and clean up the yard. We try to do some dusting. We try for mopping, although I'll be honest, that doesn't happen as often as I would like. And we mow the lawn one time a month because it doesn't grow that quickly up here, I suppose. And we clean up the yard. We sweep up the shed. The outhouse that we have, we clean that up, all the paths. And that's Friday cleaning. The kids are also responsible for cleaning up their bedrooms today. And that is a process that we take pretty seriously because their rooms have been redone in the house. James and I did that. It was the first thing we did when we moved into this house. As you can see, the rest of our house is not all the way redone. My kitchen has not been touched at all. That's why you see it's dingy and needs to be painted. But our kids' room has been redone, and we're very proud of that. And so we're teaching them to clean it, keep it tidy, and take care of their things. So until next time, folks, happy Friday cleaning.